Hey guys, Mr. B here again, bringing you another lovely math video. This one on finding the volume of a cone. So finding the volume of a cone is actually pretty straightforward. There's a formula for it, and the formula is right here. Volume is equal to 1/3 pi times the radius, r squared, of course, and then times the height of the cone. And sometimes you hear people call that the apex height. So it's the height from the very tip right down to the middle of the circle on the bottom. So let's do a couple of examples, and there are basically two types. In this one we're given the radius 10, so that's my r right here, and my height h. So really all we have to do is plug it in the formula and see what happens. So let's see. Volume is equal to 1/3 pi r squared h. Always a good idea to rewrite your formula. 1/3 pi, and then we got 10 squared times the height 15. Then all we have to do is put that in our calculator. So what I like to do is I like to leave the 1/3 until last. So I'll do my pi, and if you got a pi button, I'm going to use one. See if I got one on this calculator here. This one does. If you don't, you can use 3.14. Then times 100, or times 10 squared, which is actually 100. Then times 15. So I do this part first. And what I got for that, if you're doing it at home, is 4,712. Then I just divide that by 3. So dividing by 3 is the same as multiplying by a third. So I end up with 1,571. So I'm just going to round up. I actually got 1,570.8. So I'm going to round up, and that's volume. So we have cube units. So make sure you use your cube unit. So that's it. That's a very standard volume question. Probably the easiest one that you'd see. The volume of a cone. Now this one is the volume of a cone as well. The only difference is in this case we're given the slant height. So I'm sure you probably remember if you did surface area of a cone, the slant height is actually just like the side from the tip to one of the sides of the cone. But in order to find volume, we need the actual height. So what we can do is we can sort of create this right triangle right here. We should actually do it in red. Using the radius of the cone and the slant height. So what you end up is a triangle that looks like this. So it's a right triangle with radius 3. So that's my radius of my cone. So the bottom of the triangle is 3. And my hypotenuse 7. So if I want to find the actual height, h, I got to use Pythagorean theorem. So I can subtract this time. So if I'm finding, I just subtract the square of the leg. So normally it would be c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. But since I'm not finding the hypotenuse, I can change it around. So I'm going to call mine h squared is equal to 7 squared minus 3 squared. So h squared is equal to 49 minus 9, or h squared is equal to 40. H is equal to the square root of 40. And h is about, so the square root of 40 is somewhere around 6.3. So there you go. And now that I have my height, now I can just use my formula. So volume is equal to 1/3 pi, and then the radius squared is 3 squared, times the height, 6.3. And then I just got to do that in my calculator. So I'll do the same thing I did before. Pi times 3 squared times 6.3, and then divide that by 3. So that ends up with 59.3 centimeters cubed. And I should put centimeters over here. I'm just going to double check that one. I think I might have made, just to make sure I didn't make a mistake by accident. Times 3 squared times 6.3 divided by 3. Yeah, we're good. Alright, so there it is. So that's the volume of a cone, 1/3 pi r squared times the height times h. So hopefully this helps, guys, and I'll see you guys in class.